When it was first announced that Henry Cavill will be taking on the lead role within The Witcher, excitement and hope around the franchise very quickly grew. The interest and hype around the show were almost immediately there, in large part due to Cavill, and in large part due to the work that CD Projekt Red has done over the last 15 years. However, once the show aired, it became clear that this might not be exactly what fans expected it to be. Although I personally really enjoyed the show, it cannot be ignored that a large part of the audience did not. Once Henry Cavill announced that he was leaving the show, it was pretty much all but over, with many vowing to never watch another episode again. When Cavill took to Twitter to announce that he will be leaving the project, it definitely came as a shock to many people, as it is not really typical for a lead actor to leave mid-series. Cavill announced that Liam Hemsworth would be taking over his place, but other than that we really did not get too much additional news as to why he decided to leave. There have been many speculations though. Some suggested that he left The Witcher because of his return to the DC cinematic universe as Superman, but that theory quickly fell through when it became clear that no official contract has been put in place for Cavill to return. From there, some rumors suggested that he was asked to leave due to being extremely toxic on set, but once again that also completely fell flat once it became evident that those rumors were fabricated. The final rumor suggested that Cavill was extremely unhappy with the direction of the show and as a result wanted to leave the show. As per Showbiz, fan reaction to Cavill's exit has been very mixed, with most expressing the desire to see Cavill stay on in the role of The Witcher. Others have demanded an explanation for why Cavill is leaving the franchise that seems to mean so much to him. Fortunately, fans might be able to get some clarity in the months to come. In a recent interview with NME, showrunner Lauren Hisrich revealed that she does very much want to talk about why Cavill is leaving the show. I do have a lot to say, and I think that there's a lot of, we'll obviously never get into exactly why Henry left, all of the reasons, but I can say it's been a mutually respectful relationship. Hisrich said, "So please come back in 6 months when we can talk." That statement from the showrunner is definitely interesting, as she is pretty much stating that she will provide us with more detail as to why Cavill actually left the show, but she cannot say anything at this moment. In all honesty, I do think that it is a smart move from the showrunners not to say anything about Henry Cavill at this moment, considering that he will still be The Witcher for at least another year. As many people are only interested in seeing Cavill, it will probably not be a good idea to slander his name while the 3rd season of the show is not out yet. It is unclear exactly what Lauren is planning on saying in 6 months, but I can't imagine that it is going to be extremely positive, especially if the numbers for the series continue to fall. It is clear that executives are still clinging to Cavill's name as much as they can. It was recently announced that they might split the 3rd season up into 2 parts, with many believing that this was just a ploy to use Henry Cavill's name in the promotional material a little while longer. When it comes to exactly when we can expect to see the next season of the show, they did state back in December that we are about 8 months out, which means we can expect it towards the end of July. If they are in fact going to split it up into 2 parts, which I believe they will, the 2nd part of the season will most likely not be out until December. The 3rd season only has 8 episodes, so it is definitely strange to split it up into 2 parts, but with Blood Origin recently released with only 4 episodes, it is not too crazy to think that they might now do the same with the main show as well. It is going to be interesting to see how the film season with Henry Cavill is going to be received. On the one hand, it might actually be their highest rated season yet, as many fans might tune in to say goodbye. Many, including myself, might be curious to see exactly how they will be addressing his departure and exactly what the transition is going to look like. One big theory that has been making the rounds recently is that they will be playing with different timelines, and through doing that maybe even completely erase the Cavill Witcher, pretty much rebooting much of the show. They might also just not address the actor swap at all, although I am not exactly sure how good of an idea that would be. There is also another theory going around that we might not even see a 4th season anymore. The show has been riddled with so much bad press lately, and also the failure of the spin-off, that Netflix might just decide to pull the plug on the whole thing together. Netflix themselves have not really had the best few years when it comes to revenue, so I do not believe that they are overly eager to spend a lot of money on a show that will definitely not make them any profit. If the 3rd season performs so poorly, I do not think there will be much motivation to continue, and if there is, it might only be for another season before finally packing it all up. Then again, with Netflix you never truly know exactly what they are going to do. Although there might be plenty of fans who will tune into the final Cavill season, there is definitely also a growing number of fans who have stated very clearly that they refuse to continue with the show, and that they will no longer be supporting it. Personally, for me, I am definitely curious to see what the 3rd season is going to look like. Up until this point, I have also been enjoying the show quite a bit, so I will definitely be tuning in again. But I do understand why many say that they will not be doing that.